What is going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez, back with another NBA player prop video for you. Today is, today's still November 3rd, but this video is for Saturday, November 4th, 2023. We're talking NBA player props over on Prizepicks in this video. As always, I hope this finds you doing well and in good spirits. As always, we'll dive into our recap from the previous day and then quickly brush on some injury news and then go over some Prizepicks plays that I like on the board. So attempting to get this video out pretty early to avoid any line movements. Hopefully you're able to get these in your slips, or at least entertain the thought of doing so before the lines move. So if all that sounds good to you, stick around, drop a like, sub up, and click the notification icon so that you're notified of all upcoming content and videos from me and my channel. And without further delay, let us get into our plays from yesterday. Okay, so in yesterday's video, it was a live stream, and unfortunately, a few of the plays that we talked about got bumped, but we did go over a couple that I liked, so we'll go over those. But yeah, a lot of line movement was happening earlier in the day. So talked about how I like the over on Ben Simmons points, 7.5. He hits the over on this one, finishes the game with 8 points. So glad to see that he is scoring a little bit more these days. I mentioned the over on Kobe White's 13.5 PR points and rebounds. He actually finishes the game with 21 points and rebounds. He finishes with 18 points. So he clears this line with just points. We talked about this one, but this was one of the lines that got bumped up to 14.5. But as you can see, that didn't really matter because Kobe White did it on points alone. Now, these weren't official plays, but we talked about taking the over on Julius Randle's rebounds and assists, and it was set to 10.5. We weren't getting positive odds on this line, but we talked about how bad of a defense the Milwaukee Bucks have these days and how I still like that. Well, Julius Randle finished with 17 rebounds and assists, so he clears that line pretty damn easily. And then one other play that we mentioned in the video that was unfortunately bumped was the over on Denny Avdija's points. Now, when I saw it, it was at 9.5, and then it got bumped up to 10.5. But he finishes with 14 points. So he would have cleared it at the bump line. But, you know, I am really iffy about playing those lines when they bump, especially when they bump up like a whole number. So those are a few plays that we went over in yesterday's stream. They all worked out. They all hit. But hopefully you were able to get one, two, or a few of these in your lineups. Let's move on to some NBA injury news, and then we'll start breaking down a few plays that I like for Saturday slates. All right, so not as lengthy of a list in terms of Saturday's injury news. A few things to look out for. Devin Booker is questionable. Brandon Ingram is questionable. Markelle Fultz and Taurean Prince. Who we know are going to be out: Bradley Beal, De'Aaron Fox, Wendell Carter, Nick Batum, Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, and Amen Thompson. So Gabe Vincent is actually going to be out for a while. So with Rui out and Gabe out, you could be looking at some extended run for guys like Austin Reeves. Maybe we see him. He started to get his stroke back in that LA Clippers game. Or maybe we just see more run for D'Angelo Russell. I'm really not sure, but you're down 2 bodies, and Taurean Prince is also questionable. So something to keep your eyes on in terms of Laker depth, and maybe we can get some nice lines on a few of these Lakers players. All right, first play on the board. Let's talk about Rudy Gobert's PRA, currently sitting at 26.5 on Prizepicks. I do like the over on this one. So a couple of reasons why I like this play. Number one, we're getting it at a lower line on Prizepicks. Books have this at 27.5, so we're getting it at a nice little discount here. Number two, gets to face his former team. So I'm not a huge believer in the revenge narrative, but for a guy like Rudy Gobert, I think that shit matters to him. So I think this is going to be an important game for him. And then lastly, just looking at what he's been able to do to start the season off, I mean, he's gone over this line in 4 out of 5 games. And then when we look back to games played versus Utah, 2 out of those 3 games, he crushes this. So even with Karl Anthony Towns in the front court with him, it doesn't seem to keep him off the glass. He's still cleaning that glass. He's still able to put the ball in the hoop, you know, not a prolific scorer, but doing enough to get the over on those points. So points and rebounds will make up the majority of his PRA. He is known to pass the rock here and there, so maybe he can grab or dish out 1 or 2 assists, but really counting on him to get the over on his PRA. So fire it up. 26.5 PRA for Rudy Gobert. We're going over, and that's going to be play number 1. All right, play number 2. Let's talk about Devin Booker's rebounds, sitting at 4.5 over on Prizepicks. Now this one is getting really strong juice to go over, so I like it. 4.5 is a low number for Devin Booker, who to start the season off has gone over this in 4 out of 5 games. First game back against San Antonio, grabbed 9 boards. So he's a really good rebounding guard. He's not a little guard, you know, he's a pretty big body out there at the 2. So I don't think rebounding is ever an issue for Devin Booker. So this game is the first game on the slate versus the 76ers, and I just like it. I like the odds here. I think this is a low enough number for him to get it, and this is the lowest that it'll be all day. I'm sure at some point we won't see it anymore at this line. So if you like it, I encourage you to take the over like I'm going to be doing. 4.5 rebounds for Devin Booker. Let's fire it up. Give me the over. All right, last play on the board. Let's talk about Walker Kessler's rebounds, sitting at 7.5. I do like the over on this one. Now this game, this prop is in the Utah-Minnesota game. So we already like Rudy Gobert on the other side for his PRA. So now we're gonna head on over to the Jazz side and take a look at Walker Kessler's rebounding numbers, sitting at 8.5 on most books. We're getting it for 7.5 on Prizepicks, so getting it at a lower line. Now we're not seeing the Walker Kessler that we saw late in the year. You know, last year, you know, he was putting up points, he was blocking a ton of shots, he was like a fantasy darling of sorts. But this year, I think the presence of John Collins in that starting lineup has really capped his upside. But the one thing he can do that he will continue to do is rebound the ball. So 2 out of the 5 games so far this season, he has crushed this line. He has hit double digits in those games, and because of those games, he's averaging 7.3 rebounds. So he honestly has 20 rebound upside. We just haven't seen it yet. Versus Minnesota, going back to last year, there it is, 21 rebounds right there. So there's that 20 rebound upside I just mentioned, and then 9 rebounds in his very last game against Minnesota. I think if this game stays close, competitive, he should get plenty of opportunity, a lot of shots. There are a lot of big names in this game, a lot of shots to be had, and when you shoot the ball a lot, you tend to miss a lot, and that's what we're counting on here. We're counting on quite a few missed shots. That way, Walker Kessler can get his big ass hands on 8 of those missed shots and help us hit the over on his rebound prop. So, liking what I'm seeing here, liking the fact that we're getting it at a lower line on Prizepicks, and then if you want to just check out what opposing centers have done versus Minnesota this season in terms of rebounds, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 go over their line and 3 not go over their line. But Jokic failed to go over his line, but still hit double digits, and we can see that Bam Adebayo was not able to do it, as well as Clint Capella, but 7 for Okongwu, 5 for Bryant, and 11 for Jakopoto. So all this looks good. I like the over. I like what I'm seeing here. I love the lower line. Let's take the over. 7.5 rebounds for Walker Kessler, and that is going to be our third and final play of the day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's video. Do drop a comment below. Let me know what you like on the board, as well as your thoughts on these plays. As always, I appreciate you stopping by and just spending a few moments of your day with me, and just allowing my channel to grow, and you being a big part of that. If you are interested in more picks or just slips that I will be playing on Saturday slate, be sure to check that out in the free player prop Discord. You can find that link in the video description. Best of luck to you all should you tail any of these plays. And until my next NBA player prop video, Chavez is out.